Welcome students to the class of FYBCom Additional English again. In the previous lecture, I have discussed with you the syllabus of Additional English which has been prescribed for you students by the Savitribai Phule Pune University, Pune. Today, I am going to discuss with you the main objectives of this course, because while studying any textbook, it is very important on the part of the learners, the teachers and the students to go through the main intention of the book, or we can say the main objectives of this book. Why this book has been prescribed for you? What is the main intention the board of editors have in their mind behind composing and compiling this textbook for the students of FYBCom? Last time I discussed with you the objectives of this textbook in a very short manner. Today I am going to deal with these objectives in a very broad way, explaining all the detailed concepts which have been given in this book by the board of editors. Before I start dealing with this textbook and explaining the objectives of this textbook, let me tell you the title of this textbook and the board of editors of this book. The title of the text is Pearls of Wisdom. Now, what do you mean by pearls? The meaning of the word pearl is a precious stone which is considered as absolutely valuable and precious one. That is pearls, which we use in the ornaments. It is a kind of ornament, or we can say the beads. That is what pearls is. Pearls of wisdom. Wisdom, this word stands for the knowledge, the wisdom and the knowledge. So the pearls of wisdom means you have in your textbook small literary pieces borrowed from different books which are famous throughout the world, and these small pieces are going to enlighten you with broad ideas given in these small pieces. That is what the idea behind giving the title to this book. Now, what is the main intention, or what are the main objectives of this textbook, which has been edited by the Board of Studies of Savitribai Phule Pune University, Pune. The members of the Board of Studies have come together and they discussed a lot. After a lot of thinking and having discussion with their colleagues and the teachers from all over the university, from different colleges, they decided to compile this textbook for the students of FYBCom. Now let us see what are the major things which the board of studies they had in their mind, and what you people are going to study from this textbook. For your convenience, I am going to read some part from your textbook, so that it will be convenient for you to understand what the board of editors they had in their mind while compiling this book. And before you start studying all the literature which is given in the textbook, you will come to know how to deal with and what are the things you are supposed to learn from these different pieces which are given in this textbook. Let us see the first objective which they had in their mind, and they brought it into your textbook, and the first one is to appreciate and enjoy wide range of literary text. To appreciate and enjoy. It is said that without enjoyment, without pleasure, without happiness, there could be no learning at all. So when you have to learn new things, you have to acquire the knowledge of the world, first of all, when you are unhappy, when you are in a sad state of mind, when you are suffering due to mental pain, physical pain and some other things, you cannot concentrate properly on the things which you have to learn. So to make this process of teaching and learning more valuable, more pleasurable, and then it becomes acceptable by the students' community. That's why it is said, enjoy the wide variety. Means while learning, you are enjoying that kind of literature. You are getting pleasure, you are finding happiness in the process of learning. That kind of pieces are to be introduced in the textbook, so that the learning process would become more pleasurable for the students. This is what the intention behind composing. It means in your textbook you have such kind of pieces which will offer you happiness, pleasure, at the same time it will offer you knowledge also, knowledge and wisdom too. So by bringing together both the things, this process becomes more easy and learnable. Second objective is to develop a humanistic outlook. Before that, to appreciate. Let me explain this word. To appreciate and enjoy. See, only reading is not enough. Only reading a textbook or an extract or a poem, you will find reading is not enough. Students should think on their own, and students should be able to appreciate the things on his own level. And how to appreciate, critically appreciate, how to analyze, these are the things which are supposed to be taught by the teachers to the students through this book. So it will enhance your capacity, it will develop your capacity to appreciate, to analyze the literature which is given in this textbook. The pieces borrowed from well-known literature, from British literature, from Indian literature, from American literature, and you would be able to appreciate those pieces, to analyze those pieces on your own. So that capacity and capability among the student to be developed by the teachers, that is what one of the major objectives behind composing and editing this textbook. The next one is to gain knowledge, to develop humanistic outlook. This word is very important, you see. Humanistic outlook. Nowadays, in the society, we find the things which are taking place against the humanistic outlook. That is against the humanism. You must have heard, must have read in the newspaper, you must have seen some clips, and through social media also, you must have come across the things which are absolutely against the humanism. So how to be a good man in the society? how to possess the humanistic qualities, how to imbibe the humanistic qualities among the students. These things you are going to learn from the literature. So the major task of composing good literature is to keep intact all the humanistic values, morals and ethics in the society, to keep it intact, to teach the society, to teach the students, so that it will spread up in the society. So to keep our society healthy, it is the duty of the literature also. So literature always perform its duty of taking care of the whole society and to keep the whole society in a very healthy manner. So this is one of the major tasks of literature, major function of literature, we can say. So this, by keeping in mind this thing, the board of editors and the members of the board of editors, they have compiled this textbook. To gain knowledge and understanding, the next objective is to gain knowledge and understanding of nature of human existence. Nowadays, man has become more materialistic. The human being is being criticized for its, we can say, for his thirst and hunger for the materialistic things. Each one of us is mad after all the materialistic things in the world. We don't have enough time to look back into the nature, to go back to the nature. So in this textbook you will find the pieces which will give you an impression, which will teach you to go back to the nature, to maintain the nature, to become one with the nature, to preserve the nature, to conserve the nature. Now, after all, what is nature? Nature means the things that we are surrounded by. It includes all the natural things, not the artificial or man-made things. All the natural things which contains the hills and wells, trees, plants, gardens, bushes, animals, men and women and everything that is natural, not the man-made objects. So that is what the nature stands for. Now here the third objective is to gain knowledge and understanding of nature, of human existence, how man is living on the earth, how he survives, what are the things which has developed or which have developed the whole society. Can we think the existence of the human being or the animals without nature? Not at all, because every single object, it comes from the nature. So we must understand the nature of human existence on the earth. So through this book, the pieces which you are going to study, the literary pieces which you are going to study, will definitely teach you the nature of human existence. The first word nature stands for, to which we call in Marathi, Nisarga. The another nature of human existence means the way of living of the human beings or the living beings on the earth. So you are going to acquire the knowledge, you will understand how we survive, how we live on the surface of the earth, what are the things which we require and how this whole earth, this whole nature help us to survive, to live happily on the surface of the earth. Means you will learn that nature is absolutely important in the life of every living being and every human being. The next is to develop language proficiency. The main objective, another major objective of this textbook is to develop language proficiency. Most of the students, they think about how to develop one's language, how to become proficient in the English language, how to acquire proficiency in English language. So they keep thinking at the same time they want to develop themselves. So this book will help you to develop your proficiency. Then the creative ability. Creative, what is creativity? Creativity means to create something which is absolutely new in this world, which is absolutely innovative, which is absolutely new to the whole society. It means how to create innovative, which is absolutely not known. Earlier it was not known to the society, and it is at present not known to the society. Something which is absolutely innovative, to create absolutely new thing which offers pleasure, which imparts knowledge to the world. That is what, to increase the creativity of the students. Means to make you enable to compose a poem, to write an article, to write a play, or to write a novel, to be a good creative writer. So it is possible that if you read this textbook, it will inspire you to be a good creative writer. That is what, to develop the creative ability of the students. The next objective is to critical thinking, to develop the critical thinking among the students. While reading a piece of literature, when you think over it, you must have the capacity and capability to think on your own, to apply your previous knowledge and think critically about that poem. That capacity and capability is to be developed among the students, is the another objective of this textbook. Then one more is there, that is to develop the analytical ability. The same thing, critical ability as well as the analytical ability, to analyze the things based on the previous knowledge, to analyze the things, to analyze that type of literature and apply it to the present society, so that you can find the outcome. What is the outcome of that literature? What is the outcome of that poem? What it teaches us? What message that poem gives us? That you will understand after reading this book, and that analytical ability is to be developed among the student. This is another major objective of this textbook. The next, fifth objective is to enhance appreciation of culturally diverse society. This is a very major problem nowadays we have in India. The whole society is going to be split up into small fragments, small sections. People nowadays have started thinking on different levels. Earlier, we have been thinking that we are one, but what the reality is something different. Now the time has come to think about on different grounds, the cultural diverse society. In the society, we have different type of people having different languages, class, culture, tradition, food and diet, So different type of people we have in society, different states. In India itself, you have different states, different languages, different culture, tradition and whatnot. There are so many differences in this country, even so many contradictions we have in the country itself. What are the contradictions? There are number of contradictions. I don't want to mention every one of them here, but while studying our literature, you will come to know the cultural differences in the country. Still we are living together. That is what the diverse society. So ours is a culturally diverse society and still we are one. So that is what Indianness is. What is Indianness? Indianness means which covers, this is Indianness is not a small concept. Indianness, it covers, it's such a broad concept where the people from different states, they come together, they live together in one country and they have united themselves. They live together, they take care of each other, though they belong to different caste communities, they speak different kind of languages and they are having different attitudes. Still they live together very happily. That is what the cultural diverse society which we Indians have, and we learn these things from this textbook. So these pieces which the board of editors, they have brought together and they have compiled, they had in their mind all these things that the students, we can develop them, we can develop our students on different grounds, so that Indianness could be maintained, that Indianness would be there, the diverse cultural society, united society that we will have in the country. Having that broad view in their mind, they have compiled this textbook. Apart from this, let us see literature. We have discussed the objectives of the textbook of additional English. Now let us see how literature helps or build up the society. Literature, the first one is it delights us. The main task, the main work of literature is to give happiness, to impart the happiness and the pleasure through literature. Let me give you the example. A poet who is very famous in English literature for his nature poetry is William Wordsworth, a romantic poet. He has composed nature poetry, and in each poem he has composed, he speaks about small flowers, bushes, plants, and the whole nature he has described and depicted in his poetry, focusing on every simple and single object of the nature. And he gives us a message that nature is everything to human being. Nature is a philosopher, guide and whatnot. Nature is everything to human being, without which we cannot even, as I told you earlier, we cannot think about the survival of the living beings on the earth. So that kind of literature which imparts, it delights us, it imparts the happiness to the human heart. After reading a poem, we enjoy that literature, its rhythm, the tone, the rhyme and rhythm. It always imparts happiness to the human heart. The foremost important function of literature is to delight the human heart. Next, it instructs the human being, giving instructions, indirectly giving instructions to the human being. Say for example that there could be no survival of the living beings without nature. So nature is everything to human being. Water or the drops of water, to which we call rain, without which there could be no greenery at all. And without greenery, there could be no survival of the human being. So it instructs literature, where we have the poems, plays, dramas and novels through which we get the instructions from the literature. We learn the things from literature. Pleasure with learning. See, it is said that there could be no learning without pleasure and happiness, as I have mentioned earlier. So, without pleasure, there could be no learning at all. So, in literature, you find very interesting things which offers happiness to human heart, human mind, which makes us happy. And so it is said that in literature you have the pleasurable things which offers happiness and pleasure to the human heart. Next thing is, English language is an instrument. With the help of this language, we communicate and get into touch with the people living on the surface of the whole earth. People living abroad, we get connected with themselves with the help of English language, to which we call lingua franca. So it is, English language is called a global lingua franca. With the help of this language, we can express our feelings, emotions, our thoughts to the people living on the surface of this earth. It is not possible without having the knowledge of this language. We cannot get in contact with the people living in the other countries, living on the surface of the earth. We cannot express our views without having the knowledge of English language, to which it is the lingua franca, one of the strongest instrument which we use to express our feelings, our views, ideas, attitude, etc. with the help of lingua franca. That is what an instrument with which we get connected with others. So this is known as global lingua franca. So English language is considered as global lingua franca. With the help of this, we discuss with the people, we express our views. With the help of, you say, idioms and phrases and the usage, we learn from this language, from literature. While reading poetry, article, novels, short stories, we learn different types of idioms, phrases and usages. So it will develop and enhance the capacity of the students to communicate themselves, to be more proficient in English language. By using this language, we would be able to find our place somewhere in the society. We would be able to place ourselves in the society. With the help of English language, you can develop your personality too. So by keeping in mind all these things, the board of editors of the Savitribai Phule, Pune University, Pune, they have compiled this textbook entitled Pearls of Wisdom. So in this way, we have discussed the objectives, major objectives of the board of studies of this textbook, board of editors of this textbook. And in the next lecture, we shall see the very first unit entitled The Sporting Spirit, written by George Orwell, a famous American writer and author who has written a very famous political satire entitled Animal Farm, which has become very famous throughout the world. We are going to study that article next time. Till then, goodbye.